What's going on, people? What's going on, people? What we do over here is the Heavy Hitters Live, man. We switched it up this week. As you already know, on to the next game. So, if you're still butthurt about Sunday, get over it. I'm the man, six man K Styles, representing one fourth of the heavy hitters with you talk sports and Mad Mike Sports. Oh, they usually say what's up when they hear their name, but they do it this time.
I think they
uh,
still thinking about that Panthers loss, man. I don't
oh
know.
man,
I don't know.
man,
They gotta
no,
wake
no,
up.
we get over it around here, man. And if you see on the screen, if you're new to the screen, we got a guest today representing the Washington Commanders.
hmm
Content creator, friend of the show, Juan Gotti. What's happening, homie?
What's going on, man? How you doing? I appreciate you for having me on. Definitely looking forward to this matchup. Wish we was a little bit healthy going into it, but should be a fun one down in the A, man.
Okay, man. We definitely appreciate you coming on, man. Sherman Wood, Brian Peoples, Keyshawn. Hey, man, appreciate y'all coming in. We're gonna have a little bit more people coming in. Um, but as that is going on, man. Hey, Juan, explain to the people, man. Um, how have you felt about the Commanders so far this season?
Yeah. So man, we sit at 2-1. For sure. In a decent spot, of course. But if you watched our games through the first 3 weeks of the season, we haven't been our sharpest. We have
Mm,
been injury riddled. We haven't been what we were last year in terms of play calling, decision making, execution. But all in all, it's been relatively good still to get some quality wins. You got a good NFC East win over a division rival in the Giants, right? You held them to 6 points, then they go in and put 37 on Dallas. So that kind of tells you how they're sitting. Then you go week 2, tough loss against Green Bay. You lose your quarterback in that game. We'll get to that. Got banged up, lost a very important piece of our tight end room, John Bates, in that game. We just got beat up, man, and we got out coached and outplayed on Thursday night. But then you bounce back with a dominant win with your backup quarterback Marcus Mariota at home in week 3. So all in all, not perfect start. Pretty sure we would have loved to have a better start in terms of execution. But man, if you told me through the first 3 weeks with everything that we have had to deal with in terms of injuries, we're sitting at 2-1. I'll feel pretty good where we're at. So I'm pretty good where we're currently sit right now.
all right, okay. Um, yeah, one particular acquisition that you came in right before the season started. Um, Deebo Samuel. I know that was a key. I know that was a key acquisition that y'all had this off season. I know kind of have like the story with Terry McMillan. Uh, crazy Terry, what they call him. But
Mhm.
man, um, Debo, how you liking him so far in that Commander's uniform?
Oh man, I tell you, with all the jokes and all the things people said about Deebo Samuel this past off season, you can wash it, you can throw it out the window because this guy has been, dare I say, our best player on offense, better than Terry McLaurin up until this point, better than anybody, including the quarterback, Jaden Daniels. He's been our best offensive weapon thus far. And I'm so thankful for people that thought he was trash, thought he was washed up, because not only has he been valuable as a receiver option, he's able to provide you a spark as a running back. And clearly on special teams, he showed that on last night, or excuse me, Sunday evening, and then on Thursday night as well. He showed you he has the capability to take one to the crib at any point in time. And I felt like honestly have one of the best special teams units in the game. Stands for the field goal kicker at this point, Matt Gay. But both punt returner and Jalen Lane, rookie out of VTech, and then Deebo Samuels, kick returner, Matt. Anytime we're receiving, it can go to the crib. So you can't normally, like how you would in the past, be able to get up, say, it's fourth down, I'm gonna go use the bathroom, go get a sandwich, something like that. You can't do that when those two guys are back there because they are dangerous. And to quickly answer your question, though, not to ramble too long, Deebo Samuel has been as advertised and some, man. I'm so glad he's here in the Washington Commanders uniform. He's been amazing.
Oh man, you fine, man. Like you said, you got to give these people the context of what to expect, man. Because, like you said, even though this channel over here is predominantly Falcon fans, they do love football over here, and like I said, we like to show respect to teams and players and stuff over here. So the content, you're fine, right? Mike, Jew, y'all got anything to add to this, man? How we feeling about this matchup?
What I would say is he was mentioning Debo Samuels, and Debo Samuels is one of those guys that I love. He reminds me of Cordell Patterson when we had him. Just a football player, can play pretty much any position on the field. And I definitely was viewing y'all games earlier. I rewatched some of y'all games from last week. And then like the first kickoff, he almost took it to the house. So like he started the game off as like that fire starter. And, he's playing with a chip on his shoulder because he kind of was, a castaway from San Francisco, but I felt like he was one of the heartbeats of their team. So we definitely gonna have to watch out for him because I felt like last game he made it his business, knowing that Jaden Daniels wasn't playing, to kind of put the team on his back and get them started out early. And that big kickoff that he had was like clutch to get them right off the bat in the scoring range. And it's like they never looked back from that point on. So this definitely should be a great matchup. I did do like a little preview show on my channel earlier today. I just dropped a video talking about Marcus Mariota and talking about you guys' offense. And you guys' offense running out of that pistol is kind of similar to what we're doing here in Atlanta. I watched some of y'all game and I seen y'all running that pistol. And like I said, we kind of are familiar with Mariota, but I love the way that they used him. Like they relied on the running game. Y'all playing good defense. And y'all didn't put Mariota in too many compromised positions. Mariota is one of those guys that can use his legs and get outside. And I love when y'all got Mariota on y'all team because he's similar to Jaden Daniels in his ability to use his legs. So I really like what you guys are doing in Washington. Growing up in the Virginia area, I'm very familiar with the Redskins, very familiar now with the Washington Commanders. But and Quinn, who's y'all head coach, personally for me, is my favorite Falcons coach that we've had like in the past because to me, he just understands how to set an identity. To me, he's a great head coach and he knows how to get other great coaches on his coaching staff with him bringing Cliff Kingsbury on that staff and a lot of those other guys that we even here in Atlanta, like the Joe Witts, juniors and things of that nature. So I expect a really good game, this him coming back to Atlanta because he's very familiar with Raheem Morris and our coaching staff. So this should be a really good game because of the familiarity of both teams. And last year was a classic with us going into overtime. So it should be very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I definitely want to talk about Dan Quinn. This is his first time going back to Atlanta. We played last year at home, but this is a guy that, obviously took you to the Super Bowl, and I'm not going to be that weird person that brings up the final score or whatnot, but people let that overshadow how good he was in Atlanta, turned that franchise around, and obviously ended up going to Dallas for a little bit and then got a second opportunity here, man. And again, I think a lot of Washington Commanders fans can openly admit that they were wrong about Dan Quinn as far as what they wanted because we were all offensive heavy. We knew we had the second overall pick and we knew we were going to get a quarterback, whether it was J.N. Drake May or whoever. We thought we needed to pair him up with an offensive mind. And boy, were we wrong, right? Dan Quinn has been nothing but amazing for us. Took a nasty spill on the sideline, popped right up, right? Nose bleeding and all last Sunday. Got right back up. And that just kind of just shows you who he is and why wouldn't you want to run through a wall for a guy like that? So definitely love DQ, man. And I'm excited to take this show on the road down the ATL again. And hopefully we win because, again, like I said, we've been owning you all. But as we know, at some point, all streaks must come to an end. Just hope not this Sunday.
Oh man, we better not, we better not lose this damn game. I'm gonna tell you that. But Mike, you been quiet over there, man. What's happening?
No, I'm just listening to all the bullshit that Warren is talking about. Dan Quinn is a good coach and all that nonsense. You can keep that to yourself. I do not agree at all. I think he's a good guy. He knows what he want to do, but no, I'm just playing. Look, I think Dan Quinn just is what he is, and um, I think for the most part he understands what he is for the most part, and I think that's the thing for me that I do respect for Dan Quinn, why he was here. He knows what he is and he understands that what he wants to run, and he brings in guys that kind of fill in the gaps. And I think that's the thing that I admire about him most. But he's a lot like Raheem, and both those guys, when they get stuck in what they want to do, that's what they see. And I think if he's going to be a good coach for Washington, for years to come, he has to get past that, because those are things in Atlanta that one of the major reasons why he's not here anymore. He started off well. He started off pretty bad, to be honest, in 15. Um, but when those guys finally figured what the team is, he and Shanahan, um, they kind of took off. But like I said, he's one of the guys that understands what he is, and I think the thing is with him and Washington, as long as he, remain honest with himself about what he is defensively, and allow the general manager and the offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury to do their thing, because that's another thing. If Cliff is not there, what happens to the Washington team? So right now they're looking good, and I think at some point in time, like the rumors that I'm hearing here in Atlanta, with there are some schools that may want Zach Robinson. So we know a lot of these offensive coordinators in the NFL are really getting a lot of calls from the college game. So it's going to be interesting, man. So right now he's doing a wonderful job. Obviously getting into the championship game. I need to see a little bit more consistency out of Washington defense. Just a little bit more consistency out of their defense. I'm not sold on that, but offensively, obviously, you're a juggernaut.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
So
mean, our defense definitely. Oh, you can go. I got you.
no. You good. You good. You was about. I think you was about to go ahead and go into what I was about to talk about. Actually,
Yeah. Now I was just gonna respond to that last point. Our defense last season was not good, especially up front. Stopping the run, as you've seen, they got put on full blast in the championship game against the Eagles, right? But this season has been the total opposite. We went out, we got Javon Kinlaw, we went out, got Dietrich Wise, Eddie Goldman, right? We had a complete overhaul interiorly. And that has been on display early and often this year, with pretty much stifling the Giants' run game with Tyrone Tracy, Scatterbo, and Devin Singletary week 1 and week 2 kind of held Josh Jacobs in check. And then week 3, Ashton Jency wasn't really able to get off, had a few good hits, but not able to get off. Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier is a different animal. We'll see how we fare against this run game of Atlanta, but obviously we know Bijan, as he did 2 weeks ago and on Sunday Night Football, he proved that he's one of the best backs in the game. So we're definitely gonna get tested up front. But for sure, we're in a much better state than we were in last year in terms of that. Dan Quinn, look, he's definitely he spoke about it when he got here last year. He learned from his mistakes in Atlanta. So that's one of his big things, that, like you mentioned, he was kind of maybe too hands-on or too stuck in his ways. He's the total opposite here, right? He lets Cliff Kingsbury do what he do offensively. He lets Joe Witt Jr. do what he does defensively. Simply, he's here to lead the locker room, set the tone, and game manage, right? So I feel like we're not a perfect team. Talent-wise, we're not a perfect team. But coaching-wise, I feel like we can coach with the best. And I think that is going to allow us to win some victories that we may not have any business winning, because we're going to be able to outcoach some teams. This staff it's probably one of the best in the league, if not the best, from top to bottom. Again, we have Anthony Lynn, former head coach, as our assistant running back or as our running backs coach, right? We got a guy named Tavita Pritchard. You talk about who's going to be next up with Cliff Kingsbury lease for a head coaching job. Well, we got a couple guys. You can go Tavita Pritchard. You can go David Blau. Like this coaching staff, it's loaded, man. So I just wanted to say a little bit about that.
Mm, Yeah, you said the key. Yeah, you said the key word there is um, understanding and allow the coaches to pretty much do their job. And like you said, that definitely has been real good for y'all. Drew, Mike, how y'all feeling about this matchup right now, and how confident are we going coming home to a Dan Quinn reunion and a Washington team that's pretty hot, man? What y'all think?
What I'll say going into this game, and I've been saying this all week long, we have to figure out what our identity is. If we rely on our running game and we come out and run the football and make Penix, comfortable, I really feel like we have a good chance of winning this game. But if we come out throwing the football and we come out lethargic like we did against Carolina, it's going to be a long game because Washington is one of those teams that know who they are, and that's the most important thing is like you have to know what your identity is. So I really feel like what we can't do in this game is beat ourselves. Because if we get off to a slow start, we know how the Atlanta Falcons fans can turn and boo the team real quick because we know that we are pissed off about last week, 30-0. Well, this Falcons team has to start fast in this game. You can't afford to get into, 14-0 or fall into a hole in this game because the fans are going to boo. And I'm sure it's going to be plenty of Commander fans in the building because we know how other teams travel and come to our building. And like I said, how it looked last week, it wasn't good. So we got to come out swinging. We got to come out like our backs against the wall because they are. We can't afford to lose this game and then go into the bye week being 1-3. It just can't happen. We got to win this game because this is another NFC opponent. So even if we're striving for the division, but now we're 0-2 in the division. So you need some of these tiebreakers when you talk about wild card positioning for playoffs and stuff like that. You don't want to be losing these type of games to NFC opponents, and it comes down to you having not having a tiebreaker. So I'm confident if this team comes out and they play their game, if the Falcons play Falcons football, but you can never be too confident because this team, and I've been saying this for a while over here, Gotti, the problem with the Falcons is we beat ourselves. Our coaches are hard headed. They want to do things their way instead of going with what works. We so hell bent on proving that Michael Penix can throw the football. We hell bent on proving that Zach Robinson knows how to scheme up these passing plays instead of just going with what works. So I'm gonna leave it at that.
Well, I have no confidence in us. I don't have any confidence in Raheem Morris. You don't lose 30-0 against the Carolina Panthers and then magically pretend like we're going to beat the Washington Commanders. I expect us to lose. I expect us to get embarrassed until they show me otherwise. Um, I'm just going to be real. It's not like the Atlanta Falcons don't have the talent. They have the talent all across the board, offensively, defensively. They front seven, back
All
that can
right,
get it
Mike, you
done.
got okay. You went out for a second, so you
But
good.
yeah, you know how that being in
That,
Fairburn.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
I at the end of the day, I just don't have any confidence in Raheem Morris. I think he's a freaking moron. And I've been saying that all year until he proves me otherwise. Because like you go from a guy like Kyle Shanahan working with the Shanahans, working with Gibbs, working with Dungy, and Monty Kiffin, and you still have no idea what your identity is. I think he's an idiot. I think he's a selfish moron. And until he proves me otherwise, I have zero confidence in the Atlanta Falcons coaching staff to get it done. Now, the players in itself, we know what Bijan Robinson is. We know what Drake can be. We know what Mooney can be. We know what our offensive line. We have one of the top 5 offensive lines in the league. We know that. But we lost 30-0. Okay. 0. We didn't put up a freaking point. We can't pretend like everything is all good because it's not. They put up 40 points, Washington. 40 points, not 30, 40 points. And they ran the freaking ball. Yeah, I'm highly concerned about this game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for as far as this matchup, I just want to get this quick and got it. I'm gonna give it to you right here. I'm gonna get this out the way quick. I think pretty much all this game is just gonna come down who's gonna be able to control the ball, who's gonna be able to get that time of possession, and who's gonna take advantage of opportunities in the red zone. And like I said, with Washington, whether it been Jane Daniels, whether it been Marcus Mariota, they've been taking advantage of those opportunities, and I think that's been one of the biggest Achilles heels for the Falcons right now. Is we can move the ball sometimes, but we're not scoring. We're relying on field goal kickers and stuff like that. So, um, if the Falcons have a chance in this matchup, you got to score. We got to score touchdowns. We can't sit here and be kicking field goals. And if we have another game like that where we're kicking more field goals than actually having red zone attempts, it's gonna be a long day. So I'm gonna pass it on to you, guys, man. I like the matchup, man. What player should everybody be? Would you say is an X factor for the Washington Commanders right now? Who's an X factor for you in this game?
Man, I first want to start by taking a little bit of a backtrack and talk about your game for a second, because had we not seen last week versus the Falcons, my nervousness heading into this game would have been at an all-time. I already told you I was nervous coming into this game. Then after I seen the defensive masterclass that you put against the Vikings on Saturday Night Football, this defensive line going crazy, I'm like, man, this is a little bit nerve-wracking. Then it's like a week later, you go out there, you 30-0 against the Panthers. Now that's kind of misleading in the sense, right? Parker Romo missed 2 field goals, and again, I was a big go get Koo for us because our kicker's been struggling, and I know Koo didn't have a great ending to his tenure, but we know kickers always have a down year and they end up figuring it out. But I say that to say, look, Raheem Morris probably ain't the best, coach. He probably is the most liked coach in Atlanta, right? But I think for you all, it's all about the response, right? Like I don't expect a team like the Falcons to have back-to-back stinkers, especially being at home. Now, I'm going to be there. I'm going to go to Atlanta, my first ever road game, and you better believe I'm going to be cheering for the Commanders, right? And from what I know,
they won't mess with you. Falcon fans are friendly, okay? As long as you're not a Saint fan, you're good.
Exactly. And if they mess with you, let us know. We handle that for
you. Sound good. But from what I know and what I was gonna allude to, like you kind of brought it up, like we kind of take over the NFC South fan stadiums. Like we take over Carolina, and that's not really that shocking because for a while Carolina obviously didn't have a team, and the closest team to them was Washington. So a lot of Carolina people are Washington Commanders fans. The Falcons Stadium, we show out deep there, so like it's gonna be a lot of Commanders fans and it wouldn't surprise me to the point where maybe you're forced to have to use some type of silent cone at home. I know that sounds crazy, but that's just a potential thing that can go on if we do show out how we have done in the past. But talking about an X factor for our team, like I said, fellas, we're banged up. Like if there was a game in which you guys could say, man, we need this one because you do, like you said, your backs is against the wall, and you can't afford to lose really many more games. Already been 0-2 in the division, kind of sucks. This would be your best opportunity to beat Washington. Do I think you're going to end up beating Washington? I'm not sure. But I was already nervous prior to the season start. Now we're potentially without Jay Daniels, right? Our starting safety just broke his leg on Sunday, right? We already were without Austin Eckler. Dietrich Wise, who I mentioned, was one of the heavy tone setters as our defensive end. He's out for the season. John Bates, our tight end, he's questionable this week. Noah Brown, our other receivers, questionable. And guess what? Our best player, Terry McLaurin, uncertain for Sunday due to the quad injury. So we are limping into this game on
Yeah.
Sunday. And if we find a way to get a victory on Sunday, I probably would lose my mind, because not that I don't think we're going to win. I still have confidence that we can get it done, especially with after Mariota showing what he can do on Sunday. But it's like, man, I'm telling you, fellas, we are banged up. So if there was an X factor that I have to lean on, I would probably have to go Deebo Samuel. He's like my only guy. Zach Ertz as well, who seems to be getting better with age. A lot of people thought his career was over. He's on pace to have one of the best seasons in his career that he since by like 2019. Right. And I don't mean to bring up the past or make it hurt,
Oh,
but
we
Zach
remember him. Believe
Ertz,
me, we
Zach
believe him.
Ertz last year was to put the dagger in your heart, man. Sent us to the playoffs. So for me, it would probably be between, I'll say 3: Deebo Samuel, Zach Ertz, and our bum. Can I curse on this show?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we encourage that. We encourage that.
our bum ass kicker Matt Gay. That is gonna be the X factor, because I kind of agree. I kind of agree with what you said earlier. You're like, whoever wins this game is gonna be time of possession based. Have we had Jay and Daniels? Have we been healthy? I would probably say, yeah, we have a chance to put up, really good passing numbers through the air, have success through the air. But I think if Jay Daniels does not play, Marcus Mariota should start again. It's going to be similar to what we did on Sunday. Make it easy for him. Allow the run game to be an aid to him. Make it simple, So I'm not going to necessarily say it's going to be a super high scoring game. So definitely our kicker is going to be an X factor, because let him miss 1 or 2. Give Michael Penix an extra 2%. Look, we got the good Michael Penix last year. I don't know who that was last week, right? Every young quarterback has a game like that. So I'm gonna just chalk it up to that. That was probably his worst game as a pro. I doubt he comes out there looking like that again. I highly doubt it.
Yeah, and like you said, just to bring the point here too is, like you said, we last week. I'm just gonna be honest with you. They looked past Carolina. They thought that shit was cakewalk. You can tell by the way they played. See now, like you said, it's the backs against the wall for the Falcons. We can't have that mindset. Yes, no Jay Daniels. Marcus Mariota is a simple ass quarterback for them, and that's what they need him to be. And I don't think they're gonna be able to handle if Washington puts up a performance like they did against their Raiders last week. I don't want to see the media down here if that happens. But Jules, what's your X factor for this game, man?
The X factor is going to be Bijan Robinson. Like he has to be the X factor for our team. Both him and Tyler Algier. But I really feel like Bijan Robinson is in the class of one of the best running backs in the league. I'll put him right there with Saquon Barkley, right there with guys like Derrick Henry. He's right in that, that A-list class when you talk about the running back position. So I really feel like everything starts and ends with both him and Tyler Algier. That running game and this offensive line and being physical is going to be the key to this game. Like I said, we have to treat Michael Penix as if he's a rookie quarterback, because he is a first-year starter. I know we're saying like this is his second year, but I feel like we coached last week's game like we needed Penix to put on that Superman cape like he did in week 1. But I don't want to rely on Michael Penix necessarily to win this game. I really feel like um, the identity of this team is running the football. We have to be physical in the trenches. So Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, the offensive line, those are the keys to this game. You got to feed those guys.
Feed me more. That's all. Just feed me more. But I love what the NFL is getting to. We're getting back to running the ball, being physical up front, using your D line, your offensive line, your tight ends the way they should be, and not throwing 60, 40, 50 passes every game. I love what the NFL is returning back to its core. Um, yeah, I love Matt Ryan. I love seeing Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, and all those guys throwing the ball. But this is what real football is about: running the ball, playing solid defense, tackling well, and giving it to the workhorses. We need to feed Tyler. We need to feed Bijan, and that's the way it is, man. Um, but those are my X factors. Bijan Robinson. I thought they done a pretty good job as far as the offensive line and the running game for the Atlanta Falcons. But for whatever reason, I have no clue why Raheem and Zach they have just abandoned play action. There's no such thing as play action in Atlanta. So hopefully we get back to the core. I think they're like one of the worst teams in the league as far as play action pass is concerned. And that's not Atlanta. That's not what we've always been. Even with Matt Ryan, we've been a play action team. For whatever reason, we've abandoned that. And this is one of the main reasons I don't have any confidence in Raheem. None.
Let's get some of these comments, man. I know, like I said, I know we usually get through the show, but let's get to some of them right quick. Um, wait a minute. John here had a funny one right here. He said last week he said it seemed like we took the keys out of a classic '65 Pontiac GTO and gave them to a 12-year-old. That's exactly how they damn played.
It looked like it.
Um, let's see what else we got. Yeah, at the end of the day, winning cures all. Win this game, then nobody be complaining. Exactly. Yeah, play action does not exist. And Algier Bijan having a locker room meeting coming off the field on Sunday. Keyshawn talking about play action is like Luka Doncic on defense. Yeah, y'all need to go somewhere with that. We gotta move forward. Yeah, King, we gotta move forward. Now the comments starting to come in now. Texas boy said we better have an offensive game plan that's a mesh of the first 3 games. Now, whatever that was against Carolina, they need to throw that in the garbage. So since we pretty much got that out the way, we can start having a little bit of fun here, man. So we're gonna go down the rabbit hole a little bit. Wanda, you ready for this, man? We want to go ahead and have a conversation about your fandom and the type of your players growing up. That were the guys that you like to watch, man. Washington Redskins, Commanders. Who are some of your favorite players growing up?
Yeah, so for me, I'm still on the younger side of the fan base, so I didn't get to see all the super greats back when we were actually good, consistently Super Bowls and whatnot. So mine is gonna be a little bit recent. I think before we got Terry McLaurin, my all-time favorite was Jordan Reed. Like I love Jordan Reed, and I felt like he had a potential, and I'll die on this hill alone. Like I think he would have been the best tight end of this generation had he not sustained concussions. I mean, you look at Kyle Pitts.
I was
That's
about
who
to say
Jordan Reed was. Like he was ahead of his time. It was this generation. Like now, we're starting to see more of the Kyle Pittses, Brock Bowers, more tight ends that are like receiver bodies. Jordan Reed was that before it was a norm, right? And he unfortunately sustained a lot of concussions over his career, which ended up cutting it short. Obviously, you can go with the Santana Mosses, the Sean Taylors and whatnot, but believe it or not, I personally didn't physically see those guys play for a very long time. Obviously, Sean Taylor's career got cut short, unfortunately, and I did not catch Santana Moss like in his prime. Like I got 2009, 10, 12, 11. Like I got older Santana, but looking back at the tape of who he was in his prime in Washington, whether it was with Mark Brunell and so many other quarterbacks we had, he was an absolute beast. You know what I mean? So it sucks to not answer your question to the best of my ability, but just to be honest with you, bro, I haven't physically experienced great Washington guys from my personal eyes. So it's going to have to be Jordan Reed, Terry McLaurin. It's going to be what we see now because like we're finally getting
no. You good, man. Cause like you said, man, we love to see football fans, expressing their love for the team and stuff like that. So whatever generation you come from, man, hey, it's all respect. And you got to get back to what you said about Jordan Reed. Yeah, you're right. Jordan Reed was one of those. He was one of those hybrid tight ends. Him and Vernon Davis as a tight end combo
What about Chris
very
Cooley?
nice.
Yeah, you remember?
The H back, the H back, one of the original new H backs. Yeah, Chris Cooley. Yeah. I love little Chris Cooley. But like he said, I always used to have Jordan Reed on my fantasy football team, and like you said, man,
it was Mark Brunell for me, man. I just love everything about Mark Brunell.
Oh man. Oh.
I'd also say right quick, I love Chris Thompson. He was like our third down back for some years now. Obviously Trent Williams. I wish he would go into the Hall of Fame as a Redskin, but he's gonna go in as a 49er. We screwed that up as an organization. That was probably our only Hall of Fame caliber guy of this generation that we screwed up. And there's some guys out there, DJ Swearinger, like D'Angelo Hall. Like you can go with some guys, but definitely slim pickings if you want to talk about greats. I can give you favorites, but it's gonna be some Darrell Young, a fullback. Like that's how bad we.
You talking to the fullback master here, boy?
Believe that.
Yeah. But but like you said, yeah, you may not saw Santana Mo, but you probably right around where you got some of that Deshaun Jackson action.
Oh yeah, that 2015 Redskin season, man. Oh man, look, I got older Santana, like that 2012 season. I vividly remember that he was still serviceable, but it wasn't 05, 06,
right.
Santana Moss. But without a doubt, man, I that 2016 office. Sean McVay was our offensive coordinator. Man, like Deshaun Jackson, Pierre Garcon, Jordan Reed. We talked about obviously that offensive line, whether it was Trent Williams, Brandon Scherf, Morgan Moses, and Corey Littner-Steiger was our center. Like we had Sean LaValle as another guy. Like we had a mob, man, offensively. I'm not gonna lie to you. Kirk Cousins, we screwed that up too. Now again, we don't know how his career would have ended up being, right? He ended up going to Minnesota, going to Atlanta, right? But like looking back at that time, we screwed it up because we eventually got Alex Smith and broke his leg. Like, man, we should have paid Kirk Cousins, but that's another time for another day.
There's a lot of misfortune in that quarterback room, especially when everybody was got the big hope for RG3 and the injury that cut him. Like you said, Kirk Cousins, and then like you said, Alex Smith. I hated seeing that injury right there. But Jude, man, what about you, man? Who's some of your favorite Redskin players? And we got questions in here too. I think Brad Peebles, he already just answered that question. He was gonna ask you how you felt about Kirk Cousins, so pretty much explained that one. So Jude, what some of your favorite Redskin players, man? What you got here?
Gotcha. So I've seen a lot of Washington games living in Virginia, growing up there. D'Angelo Hall, he mentioned D'Angelo Hall, one of my all-time favorite Washington. Of course, he started in Atlanta, but he was one of those guys that would take the ball away. When you talk about intercepting the football, D'Angelo Hall was like, he made big plays, whether he was playing corner, whether he was playing safety, especially in Washington. I know he had that one game against Jay Cutler where, for whatever reason, Jay Cutler kept going at him, and he picked him off about 3-4 times in that game. So definitely D'Angelo. I'll say even early RG3. When RG3 first came in, I was a big fan of RG3 when he was at Baylor. And then even when he came into the league, he had that really great rookie season, and the injuries kind of cut his career short. But early on, he was one of the guys that took the league by storm, similar to like a CJ Stroud, leading them to the playoffs and then kind of wrecking his knee in that game against Seattle. But he was one of those guys. And I mean, they've had a lot of guys. He mentioned Jordan Reed. To me, he's definitely an underrated cat. Sean Taylor speaks for itself. I think he would have been one of the greatest safeties and still is, around the league. They honor him as one of the greatest safeties. When you talk about big physical guys, I know for sure Cam Chancellor, that's who he got his inspiration from, the great Seattle Seahawk, safety. So, I mean, Washington's had a lot of good players, and to me, Washington's always had guys that some may not be like household names, but even like the Alfred Morris's, he was a guy that ran the ball really well. A lot of people didn't really talk about him, but he was a guy that was really good. And they had a running back by the name of Chris Thompson. I don't know if Gotti remember him, but I was a big fan of his just because he was one of those guys that reminded me of like a Kevin Falk that played with the Patriots, could catch the ball out of the backfield, could do some different things like as a third down back and like a scat back. So they've had a lot of different guys. So those are just a few to name. Of course, they have the legends like Darryl Green and those guys in the past. I won't bring them up because I was really young when they were playing. But Darryl Green speaks for itself. Y'all go look up his tape. When you talk about a guy that had longevity in the league, he's probably one of the greatest corners of all time. When you talk about being a great athlete, one of the fastest guys, but one of those guys that was in his later 30s still playing at a really high level and never really like losing, his speed and things of that nature.
Oh, without a doubt, I remember Chris Thompson. I brought him up just a few minutes ago when I speak at 25. Man, it was so bad here that he was our leading receiver at one point. I love Chris Thompson, but he was another guy that unfortunately got hit by the injury bug, man. But he was an absolute beast, bro, for sure.
You know what's crazy? Washington always did have good running backs. Like you say, even if you go like I don't go as far back as running backs as like way back in the day, like with the rigs and stuff like that. But even if you just go from Stephen Davis, Tron Kennedy, Clinton Portis, like you said, Chris Thompson, Liddell Betts, Alfred Morris, and they've always. I mean, they got 4 Super Bowl rings as a franchise for a reason. So they have an identity and they know that's what they need to stick to. But you said it. One of my most.
Not to cut you off. I love how you just said, hey, chat, y'all heard him. He said 4 Super Bowl rings. So that means we're the 2025 Super Bowl champions. Hey, thank you. I appreciate you.
Whatever, man. Hey, don't get the big head. You get the big head already. Don't do that.
I'm saying, look, I appreciate you. We got 3, but you spoke us into existence for being hosting Super Bowl 60 trophy, man. So,
that's your magic.
I appreciate it, man.
Oh, it was just 3. I thought it was 4. Never mind. I guess I fucked up.
Hey, look. Appreciate it.
It ain't gonna be on our mark. But that was good fun though. But y'all said one name, and I always said one of my favorite NFL players in his era, and that's Sean Taylor, man. I watched this kid from Miami all the way to where he got to watch it. Boy, I was sad when what happened to him, boy. But what more can already be said about Sean Taylor? Sean Taylor, I'll always say was one of my favorite football players of all time. LeVar Arrington is another one. Like you say, you may not have caught him, and you may not call him in his prime, but this was almost Lawrence Taylor like, almost Lawrence Taylor like, but he put a lot of fear in a bunch of guys too, and I'm saying a lot of defensive guys. And I'm gonna go offensively one more. There's a lot of them. I might have to throw Bro Sweets in there, aka Clint Portis in there, man. Another Miami guy. I know we ain't talk about Champ Bailey. Champ Bailey is another one of those guys up there, like I said, but these is more of the old school, well, mid school. I don't call them old school, I call them mid school guys right there. So hey man, there's been a lot of great players in there. And like I told this story before, I kind of have a special affinity with the Washington franchise for the simple fact that you know like I said, my family's from the Washington area, the Upper Marlboro area. I got family up there, and my uncle used to work at that stadium too, part time while being in the military. But my very first training camp experience, NFL training camp experience, was actually with the Washington Redskins, actually. And, getting to meet the guys, Frank Wycheck, like you said, Daryl Green, Charles Mann. I actually got a Charles Mann autographed football right now, actually. Um, so I always gonna have respect for the Washington franchise. I'm just gonna say it like that. Well, now, BP, I know you ain't talking about no Washington Donovan McNabb. I don't think nobody wants to talk about that. Oh no,
No,
oh no.
sir. No, sir. Maybe
But
Philly Donovan McNabb.
Uncle Joe, and people in the chat, like I said, bring up some of your favorite Washington players. See if we can remember. Like I said, Lavernius Cole, Jason Campbell. Like I said, you got another Terry McLaurin fan. That's Keyshawn Vlad.
I can't believe I ain't mentioned our all-time sack leader, HBK, man, Ryan Kerrigan, man. That's somebody whose career I've seen from pretty much start to finish. Beast, our all-time sack leader, 95.5 sacks. So RK, same draft as JJ Watt. Probably would have preferred to have JJ Watt, but RK was a beast for us. So I'll add that in.
I ain't got nothing to say about that one, man. So we're gonna start doing some questioning here. We're gonna let the people in here ask some questions to the panel. Mike, Jude, y'all got any questions for Juan? You go ahead and get that thing going, because usually Don will usually be here asking about food up there, but he ain't here, so we gonna leave that alone. London Fletcher. Yeah. Don't remind me. So Mike, Juan, y'all got any questions for Juan?
Can I say something right quick?
Go ahead. Do your thing.
Look, we recently just started owning. Well, for a fast few years, we've been owning Atlanta, but I will say the Falcons definitely have two. There's many heartbreaks we can point to as me being a Washington Redskin Commanders fan, but the Falcons are responsible for two of those. One is when we was in Atlanta, and I want to say did RG3 get hurt that game, or Kirk Cousins was in? And I think we went to overtime. This Kirk Cousins throws it far sideline, pick off, picks. I dropped to my knees. Yep. I dropped to my knees and cried, man. I'm like, oh my god,
I'm glad, because I don't like your tone when you say you start to own Atlanta. I don't like your tone when you said you said that with a little extra less the oomph on it.
Look, we do, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's why I'm nervous about this game on Sunday, because I feel like all streaks must die. But look, last year we beat you. The year before that, we beat you. The year before, goddamn, Taylor Heineke went in Atlanta. Terry down there somewhere.
I forgot about Taylor. You can take Taylor Heineke back. Y'all.
Hey, look, but all seriousness, man. As of recently, we have, but. You guys before that, Matt Ryan couldn't beat him. Julio Jones we didn't have an answer for those guys, and that was the one. Who'd you say? I can't remember. It wasn't Desmond Trufant. Ooh, that's a name.
It was Robert Awful.
Robert. Oh man, down the side. I'm like, Kirk, come on. But look, that was foreshadowing of who Kirk Cousins was going to be for both teams. Right? look, good as hell, but also gonna cost you a game. Right?
We know. Oh, we definitely know that.
We saw that, and we saw that 5 games.
Yeah. Look. Last year, was it last year? I just a quick little side story. I don't really do much betting. That ain't my thing. But I was like, you know what? It was the Thursday night game against the
Oh
Bucks.
gosh.
It was a Thursday night game against the Bucks. Y'all would get blown out, obviously. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna take the Falcons. I feel like Kirk gonna do something. What he ended up doing, having a freaking masterclass of a game. Y'all come back and win. What did he throw for like 500 yards that game? Close to.
Yep.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
509.
Man, that was and won some crazy money off that. But anyways, that's who Kirk Cousins is. Win some, lose some.
Up and he's down. There's no middle
Right.
ground.
But my second most heartbreak that you guys gave me was I'm trying to remember. I don't know if it was at 20. I don't think it was at 2018 season, but we were at home. And it was a good game. Again, another close game, but we couldn't get a stop late in that game. I'm trying to remember. Was that 2012 or was it 2018 with Alex Smith? I can't remember, but I just know Julio Jones.
Okay, if it's Alex Smith, that 2018, I think it was like 2018, 2019, we talking about Alex Smith.
Alex Smith was 2018. I'm just trying to remember because I had the vivid memory of us at home not being able to stop Julio Jones. But I'm trying to remember what version was it? Because Julio was one of the ones that owned us, but he owned everybody. Let's just call it what it is.
I'm trying to think. I think it might have been that game where he scored his first touchdown of the year against y'all. That might have been like 2018, 2019, if I remember correctly.
But man, y'all are responsible for some heartbreaks for me. So look, we getting our payback, man. We getting our payback because it wasn't always pretty like it was like it was.
That man said and Southside said, yeah, we won 48-14, and I guess we like I said, we trying to get back in the dub column against Washington because, like you said, and it's very interesting that every Washington loss we done had since then has been by quarterbacks that eventually played for the Falcons, usually either the following year or had played for the Falcons the year prior.
Mm-hmm.
You see that correlation there?
Yeah, it is. It's a little weird over there. It is a little weird over there. You know, hopefully that's now over with because that means we both got our franchise guys. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Michael Penix definitely earned my respect. You know what I'm saying? Especially, what was it? Only his second started it? No, it was actually
was it the first? No, I think
that was the second start.
Second start?
Yeah, that game gave me so much PTSD right there. Fucking Riley Patterson, you know what? I went to therapy for this.
Oh man, unfortunately, Parker Romo might gotta send you back, man. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on. He 5 for 5 Sunday night, then 0 for 2. Come on.
Kickers just having, I don't know. It's just in the college game and the NFL game. I don't know what's going on with kickers, but you can't count on these guys.
I don't know. Yeah. Like I said, it almost seems like they everybody's so worried about how far they can get. You is shanking everything right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to say about that. But yeah, Parker Romo with the 0-2 thing. But Riley Patterson made me mad in that Washington game last year. I never seen anybody kick a ball that looked good that just died right at the goal line. I've never seen that happen before.
Right.
And that was right after he went wide. I think he went wide left on the previous kick too. And then he missed the extra point. I said, oh my goodness, don't do this to me.
Yeah.
See, and as you know about with Matt Gay, like I said, this is why I keep telling people, your special teams matter. And us Falcon fans, we finding that the hard way right now. Your special teams do matter. Mm-hmm. If you ain't got a good if your field goal kicker ain't hitting stuff when it need to be hit, you would need therapy. I'm just saying that right now.
We know it. We know it like no other over here. I mean, look, last year we traded for a kicker by the name of K. York. He was cut by week 2, so we didn't lose, so we can get our 7th-round pick back, right? We had Zane Gonzalez last year. We had Austin Seibert last year. Like we went through some kickers. We had Brandon McManus to start the year. End up letting them go do the allegations. Like, trust me, we know. We know.
Keyshawn, please don't bring that. That we is not bringing up student out of Deshaun Watson University. We not doing that. Talking about Justin Tucker. Boy, get out of here. No, we not touch. Ain't nobody touching that, man. Ain't nobody touching that anymore. Uh, let's say Southside said, don't forget in 2022 at Washington we got to the goal line and Mariota threw it to CP and it got picked off. Yeah, got picked off at the goal line. That was bad.
Deron
So
Payne, I think, did that one right there. In the rain, Brian Robinson ran over the linebacker to score this. Ooh.
Yep.
so
Yeah, I remember that.
so how did you feel about that defensive line, Juan? Like you said, Deron Payne and Montez Sweat and them boys. Did you feel like that you felt did you feel like as a fan that they broke them up too soon, or you think it was just that time?
Yeah, I feel like it was that time in terms of the compensation that we got back for both guys, and Chase Young and Montez. And as you can kind of see, neither one of those guys are living up to their contracts, right? Montez Sweat wanted big crazy money, he got the crazy money from Chicago, isn't living up to it, right? Jonathan Allen, our interior defensive lineman, he wasn't living up to his contract, living up to his standard anymore. Had to cut him this past offseason. He's in Minnesota now, right? The last person standing is Deron Payne. He's on the final year of his deal before we can have a void year to get him out of here. But he's balling. He's having a good start to but he always plays well on when it's like kind of a 1 year deal in aspect of things. But as far as breaking them up, look, they always said, and that's why you can't always trust the media. That's why you got to go to channels like this, the one that we're on, from real fans that's going to tell you the truth about your Falcons, right? They watch these games. They know this team, not like the public media do. The public media is going to look at the name and say, "Oh, yeah, they're good. They're good. This is good." And that's where I'm getting at is that's how they treated our front four. Oh, this vaunted front four: Chase Young, Montez Sweat, Deron. I'm watching these games week in and week out, and we aren't doing anything. We're not living up to any of this hype that we were surrounding of. 4 first-round picks. Couldn't tell on a consistent basis. Yeah, sometimes you may get some pressure, but I'm starting to think, and this is no shot at the Giants or whatever, but I'm starting to think that whole draft these first round early on pass rushers, interior guys, it may be a little bit overhyped about having all these first round talents, because again, my team didn't vote well with having 4 first round talents, right? The Giants, they're cool, but they're not anything special. Right now, we'll see about your fellas that you drafted in the first round pass rush, how they end up playing out. But to answer your question, it doesn't. I don't lose sleep over it. Man, I don't lose sleep over it. None of those guys, except for Deron Payne, are doing what they need to do at this point.
Yeah, I was surprised I still remember the other 3 because I haven't heard nothing from them. Just to be honest with you, but Jill, you got anything else you want to speak on?
I think we hit all of the points that I wanted to hit on. The only thing I'll ask Juan, because he's not a Falcons fan, I don't know if he's seen our games, but I kind of want to get your thoughts on our team, because sometimes it's good to get someone else's perspective from the outside looking in. Like, give me your thoughts on Michael Penix, and give me your thoughts on this Atlanta Falcons team. Like, do you think this team is a playoff caliber team, or just give me your thoughts on our team?
Yeah, so I definitely pay attention to the whole league, honestly, right? But of course, I'm not going to sit up here and say, "Oh, I know more than Falcons fans." That's crazy. Honestly, I like we talked about earlier, the 0-2 hole in the division that's a big blow, man. That is, especially with a division in the NFC South, of having a team like Tampa Bay, which I feel like Tampa Bay is the cream of the crop right now in that division. The Saints, horrible right now. I think Spencer Rattler shows a flash, but they're horrible. Carolina, I was a Bryce Young stan, still in, but I'm not too sure about the supporting cast around him. His offensive line is in shambles, right? Like, so it's not over when it comes to that division, but I definitely feel you early on. Like, it may be more time to be predicated, even though it's only week 4, but it may be time turn the attention to the division unless you can find a way to split with Tampa Bay later on in the season. But of course, it's always close in the South, especially late in the season. As far as my takeaways from your team, your defensive line, it absolutely scares the living out of me. I'm not gonna lie to you. They had, and I get it's JJ McCarthy, and he's technically in his second year, but really a rookie because he missed all last year. You had Minnesota food defensively, and you guys were killing it up front. And I was just like, oh man, I don't know, especially with knowing at that point we already knew Jaden Daniels was hurt. And I'm like, I don't know if you want to send him out there against this interior guys. Now again, the jury's still out on Jalen Walker and whatnot, but I'm talking about those guys in the middle, those big boys up front was creating havoc. So especially your inside linebacker is it Devin? I'm not even say his name, but
Diablo.
Man, he was flying around. He was in Minnesota. He was flying around that whole defense, and then They're very high on the rookies of Xavier Watt and then Billy Bowman, who ended up having a great game as well versus Minnesota. So, I mean, look, Marcus Mariota, you know him better than anybody. I'm confident. He showed me exactly what he can do versus the Raiders. But if there was a game where you can kind of get back on track, you would want to hope Marcus Mariota plays because you know his tendencies, you know how he is. And if that defense can get after him, get some similar pressure, get some interior pressure that is on them. Your secondary stays sound. Like it can be a little bit of a battle. Offensively, run the goddamn ball. What are we doing? Like, make it easy on Michael Penix. He's in his second year, but truly this is his first year because he didn't get a whole season last year like a Jaden Daniels did from week 1. Like, make it easy on him. Right? And you have Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson. I watched Bijan Robinson on Sunday Night Football a few weeks ago. I said, bro, this dude is like a Madden character, right? Like you talk about how good Saquon Barkley is and Jahmyr Gibbs. Bijan Robinson's right up there with these guys. And in terms of quickness, stickiness, agility, whatever may have you, I think him and Jahmyr Gibbs is in a league of his own. This guy, it's hard to get him on the ground. And what sets him apart is his pass catching ability out the backfield as well. So I think your game plan has to be running the ball. You know what I'm saying? Get behind, as you mentioned, one of the best offensive lines in all of football, right? So control the clock. Keep Washington's offense on the sideline as much as you can. And I think you would probably set yourselves up with some type of success. So overall, I do think there's quite a bit of talent on this roster, but it is going to come down to the point of what the game plan is going to be for your offensive coordinator, as you mentioned. Are you going to get back to running the ball like you did? You had success against Minnesota, a really good defense that we know. Look what they did to Jake Brown and the Bengals, right?
Yeah.
So if you're able to run the ball, which I'm going to be honest with you, it's going to be a true test to see how we really are. But our run defense is significantly better. So if you struggle, if you have success against the Washington Commanders run defense at this point, then you know you're doing something right. But if you struggle, if Bijan doesn't have the day that he typically has been having to start the season, I wouldn't put too much stock into is Bijan's trash, whatever may have you, because this defensive line of us interiorly at least is significantly better. You may have some positive success running the boundary, so stretches, tosses, getting outside zones, getting your guards to pull, right? Whether it's Chris Lindstrom and whatnot, getting them out in space. You could have some success with that, but running between the tackles, could be a long day. I will say this though about Michael Penix. At some point, you are going to have to take the training wheels off, right? You seen last year in the week 17 matchup with us, he's capable of making big time throws. Are you kidding me? That throw on 4th down to Kyle Pitts for a time. Everybody ain't making that throw. Desmond Ridder ain't making that throw. I'm telling you. So he showed you flashes, and he showed that he has the ability to lead a team, and actually lead some successful scoring drives. But I think you got to ease your way in, as you mentioned earlier. Don't put it all on his shoulders. Ease your way in with the successful run game that you had. Get him out moving on some RPOs. He's a left-handed quarterback, which is a little bit weird to me. Obviously, being left-handed, I know we're an anomaly when it comes to the NFL. Whether it's never that many of us, right? It's Michael Penix, Tua Tagovailoa. Then it's obviously the most famous one that we all know of this time, Michael Vick, right? You guys know him very well. Like, It's very interesting when it comes to left-handers, but I think it's gonna be a good game, and I think if you guys just play to your strengths, you could have a successful day. Hopefully not.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
See,
Appreciate
he
that, Juan.
just see. He had me on the run the ball part. That's the part he had me on right
That's
there.
all I heard.
See,
That's all I heard.
that's all I heard. Like, run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
But man, we about to go ahead and get up on out of here, man. Let everybody get the rest of their day, man. Hey, Juan, man, it's been an honor for you to come on with us, talk football. Like I said, let everybody know where they can find you at, and we're gonna be putting these in the community tab. Y'all make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe to us. So, Juan, go ahead and plug yourself away, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all for having me on again. My name is Juan Gotti, Talking Sports. I cover the Washington Commanders here on YouTube, and that's my social media platforms on everything: TikTok, Instagram, same handle, Juan Gotti, Talking Sports. But this is my main platform, and we're gonna be having a ball here on the channels. We're gonna be doing, some interesting live streams when it comes to the game day experience for our games, and again, making a trip to ATL for the first time. My first ever away game. I heard y'all stadium is amazing. And even more than that, I heard the stadium prices are more reasonable when it comes to food. So
Oh, it is.
Oh yeah. You if you got about $30, you gonna end up like a fat ass in there. Yeah. You good.
But yes, sir. I appreciate y'all for having me. It's Juan Gotti Talking Sports on YouTube. Come over there, subscribe, and check me out, man. We be having a blast talking about our burgundy and gold.
Okay. Hey, Jew, you got any last words before we get up on out here?
No, I just appreciate you joining us tonight, Juan. And I also want to thank you for telling the Atlanta Falcons fans that we basically have no excuse. So I hope Raheem Morris and the coaching staff, they heard your breakdown because I'm holding them to exactly what you said. You gave us no excuse. They're tired of hearing us as Falcons fans like hype this team up. I hate feeling like I'm hyping the team up and then they go out there and lay an egg. So I wanted to get somebody that's not a fan, your perspective, because to me, I feel like I'm tired of us underachieving. And that's what it was. When you lose 30-0 to the Panthers, I'm still hearing it from Panthers fans. Oh man, we so good. Oh my goodness, we're gonna make the playoffs. Oh my, I'm like, don't let the Falcons be your litmus test because that last game, that's fool's gold. If y'all think that the Falcons play their best game against y'all, we just did y'all a disservice. I mean, I've been telling them that, but I can't convince them. They hard headed. They're gonna have to see this week. I say y'all play the Patriots and lose this week. Y'all gonna know that the Falcons didn't play, didn't bring their A game. So of course, I don't want to make the excuses. They won the game, but like I said, I want to hear from somebody that's not an Atlanta Falcons fan because I feel like there's a ton of talent here. I just feel like we're just mismanaging it. Malpractice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, definitely. I do got a question before we get up out of here. Is that NFC South like rivalry? Is it as deep as it is over here in the NFC East? Like, can y'all not stand Panthers fans? Or not fans, but the team?
We only despise the Saints. Everybody else don't matter.
Okay. Oh, hey, look, that Saints rivalry, it ain't hitting like how it used to be, man. I'm talking back in the day. I mean, I'm talking that like y'all don't know.
Oh,
like,
we get in fights with the Saints. We go down there in fights and they come up here. We don't like them.
The what is it? The Georgia Dome, Mercedes-Benz, Super, like that. Those days with Jimmy Graham, Drew Brees, Marquise Colston.
Yep.
Oh man, like that's what I grew up on. Man.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, kind of to your point of underachieving. I kind of feel that too. I don't because I mean we've been trash all my life, but like it does have to be a tough transition to go from Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Roddy White, and just constantly competing, man. And that definitely. Oh, I know that stinks. Look, Matt Ryan, you never had to question was he going to show week in and week out. You were always going to be in games, right?
Yes,
competing for Super Bowls, and now this is like, damn, like what happened? But we obviously know it's hard to kind of follow up borderline Hall of Famer. So,
but I think a lot of people are now kind of realizing that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, because like you said, Matt Ryan was kind of a very controversial kind of figure down here in Atlanta, where you have a lot of people still kind of upset about the Mike Vick thing and stuff like that. And people looking at it as, you can replace him anytime. Y'all find out real quick. Got a guy.
Yeah.
T Green, well, he trying so hard to get our attention. I just thought I mentioned T Green because he done said fear the Bucks about 15 times in here. So you got your little 5 seconds of fame right there.
5 seconds of fame.
He said keep pounding at first. I thought he was a Panthers fan.
I don't know what he is. He just needs some attention. That boy need a hug in that day.
It's like 5 seconds of fame. But yeah, man, like I said, man, we appreciate your insight, man. We definitely gonna be doing this again, man. Like
already subscribe, man. Mike Sports, subscribe to you, brother.
I appreciate
you gonna get 6K live coming up here right after 2, and you're gonna get Utah Sports. You might get quite a few Falcon fans to subscribe to you, man, because at the end of the day, whether you're a Falcon fan or not, we are all football fans over here.
Mm-hmm.
We love the game, and we love talking the game. So, till the next time, people, we ain't here to play.
No.
We here to stay.
Oh, yeah, nigga.
You ain't got to go home.
But you got to get the heck out of here. Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Jude.
You better win this game.
Boy, that was a Bob Ross type of outro right there, boy. What the hell was that? All right, we doses.